Do you sometimes wonder if someone in your life has too much influence over your choices? We're shining a light on the subtle yet significant signs of manipulation. So, let's empower ourselves with knowledge and stay one step ahead. 1. Master of Misdirection. You know those magicians who distract you with one hand while the other works its magic? Well, manipulators are no different. They work a little like this. You're having a serious conversation about finances, and suddenly they bring up that one time you splurged on shoes. Wait, what? How did shoes suddenly become the focus of finance talk? That's the master at work, shifting the spotlight away from the real issue to something entirely different, hoping you'll get so lost in the diversion you forget the original topic. Or perhaps you've caught them in a lie. Instead of addressing it, they get incredibly upset about a completely unrelated matter. Boom! You're now sidetracked, consoling them instead of seeking clarity. It's their ultimate sleight of hand, turning the tables so subtly that you don't even realise you've been played. So next time you feel like the conversation's been sneakily hijacked, pause and think. Are you dealing with a master of misdirection? 2. Compliment confusion. Ever been in a conversation where you're floating on cloud nine, all thanks to a shower of compliments, only to suddenly plummet back to earth with a backhanded comment? Welcome to the perplexing world of compliment confusion. So you're showing off your latest work project, and they chime in with, "Wow, this is impressive. I never expected this level of work from someone like you." Hold up, did that compliment just take a U-turn? Now you're second guessing. Were they genuinely impressed, or sneakily taking a jab? It's a classic manipulator move. They lay the sugar on thick, but there's always that tiny bitter pellet hidden inside. The intent is to keep you off balance. When faced with compliment confusion, remember to dissect the words. Don't let their double-edged sword cut down on your confidence. Always trust in your worth and see through the masquerade of misleading flattery. 3. Memory mischief. You're absolutely certain you informed your colleague about the meeting on Friday. Yet when Friday rolls around, they look bewildered and retort, "You never told me." Or imagine telling a friend about your weekend plans, and when they bail last minute, they claim, "You never specified the time." These masterminds aren't just challenging your memory, they're attempting to shake the very foundation of your confidence. By sowing seeds of doubt about your memory, they gain control and divert blame. It's like being in a house of mirrors, questioning which reflection is the true you. Here's a tip. When lost in memory mischief, keep a log or diary as a compass. Concrete proof can dispel the fog of deception, ensuring you remain steady amidst the tricks and turns. 4. Emotion exploiters. We've all been there, feeling like you're a character in a soap opera with heartstrings played by an unseen director. Welcome to the theatre of emotion exploiters. You're having a disagreement with someone, and instead of addressing the issue, they bring up a completely unrelated incident from the past where you felt guilty or upset. Remember the time you forgot my birthday? Even though the current discussion is about splitting a dinner bill. Their goal is to throw you off balance by invoking past emotional wounds. Or consider this, you're excited about a promotion, but instead of celebrating with you, they dampen the mood with, "It must be nice to get recognised," unlike some of us. These people manipulate emotions like a hacker artfully pressing keys, evoking feelings of guilt, sadness, or doubt at will. 5. Frequent favours. You know someone who seems to have a never-ending list of small requests? It's like the colleague who always seems to need your assistance with tiny tasks. On Monday, it's a quick proofread of an email. Tuesday, they're out of stationery and you just know you have an extra pen. By Wednesday, they accidentally left their wallet at home and asked if you could cover their lunch. It seems harmless, right? However, these seemingly insignificant favours begin to accumulate, like collecting coins in a piggy bank. Before you know it, you're feeling drained, and you've created an obligation web where you're the fly. This manipulator creates a debt dynamic, making you feel like you owe them big time, perhaps even swaying you into larger concessions down the line. It's essential to recognise the pattern early. A favour is fine, but remember it's good to say no sometimes. 6. Silent treatment specialist. Imagine you're in an important conversation with a partner or a close friend. Instead of replying, they suddenly become as quiet as a mouse, refusing to engage fully. Days roll by. You text, call, maybe even send an email, but the radio silence is deafening. Or at work, after voicing a different opinion from a colleague, they mysteriously go mute on you. Emails are ignored, coffee breaks are quieter, and meeting invites, poof, vanished. This manipulator uses silence as a weapon, hoping you'll scramble to appease them. The goal? To make you doubt yourself, feeling desperate for their approval and validation. If you experience the silent treatment, it's essential to recognise this tactic and remember, you deserve open and honest communication. Silence may be golden, but communication is priceless. 7. Expert excluder. Have you ever felt like you're always the last one in the loop? Say, you're at a work meeting, everyone seems to be nodding along to a new plan you've never heard about, and you hear them say, as discussed last week. Or you're part of a group chat with friends, and they all suddenly have inside jokes that make you scratch your head. And when you ask them, they casually say, oh, we came up with it in another group. But why weren't you in it? The expert excluder has a crafty talent to selectively share information, making you feel out of place or less informed. Their objective? To establish dominance and keep you a step behind. But fear not, counteract by being proactive, asking questions, and staying connected. 8. Guilt guru. If they've got you constantly saying, I'm sorry, even when you've done no wrong, then you've met a guilt guru. Imagine your friend calls up after a long day at work, saying, I had such a tough day, and I know you're probably tired, but no one else listens like you do. Flattered? Well, that's the trap. Before you know it, your evening plans are shelved to listen to them again. Or consider a partner who often says, if you loved me, you wouldn't go out with your friends so often. Sound familiar? The guilt guru is a master at playing the emotional strings, turning situations around to make you feel responsible for their happiness or sadness. But remember, it's okay to prioritise your needs. You're no one's emotional puppet. Stand tall and recognise when you're being moved by the guilt strings. 9. Opinion overwriter. So, they always know what's best for you. From your fashion choices to your dinner menu, they've got suggestions for all, right? Let's say you're at a dinner party, and the topic of favourite movies comes up. You mention your love for a classic film, but before you can gush about why, someone interrupts with, oh, that movie? It's so overrated. The real masterpiece is this other film. And suddenly, the conversation takes a turn, with everyone chiming in on their recommendation, leaving your opinion in the dust. What just happened? You've been gracefully brushed aside by an opinion overwriter. They're the folks who subtly replace your thoughts with theirs. A subtle comment here, a knowing nod there, and they've shifted the narrative. Next time you spot this sneaky sign, remember, your opinions are your own masterpiece. Embrace them, share them, and don't let anyone overwrite your unique voice. 10. Secret Scorekeeper. Have you ever faced someone who, out of the blue, reminded you of that tiny mistake you made years ago? Or perhaps you've encountered someone who magically conjures up a list of your past blunders in the middle of a disagreement. That's the secret scorekeeper. They work like this. You accidentally forget to reply to a text from them, and weeks later, they snarkily quip, just like how you forgot to answer my message. Or maybe you're discussing where to dine out, and just when you voice your preference, they retort, remember when we went to your choice once, and it was a disaster? The secret scorekeeper keeps a malicious mental ledger of past mistakes, ready to deploy them at strategic moments. They do this to gain an upper hand in discussions and to make you perpetually feel indebted. But don't let this undercover tally card play with your emotions. Recognise the pattern, call it out, and remember, every day's a fresh page, not a continuation of their imaginary scorecard. 11. Promise procrastinator. Think about someone in your life who's a regular in the I'll do it soon club. Or maybe they're fans of the timeless classic I'll get to it later. If so, you might just be dealing with a promise procrastinator. Let's paint a scene. You're relying on a colleague, Bob, to finish part of a shared project. Every time you ask for an update, Bob assures you with a breezy, I'm on it soon. Yet days roll by, and soon seems to stretch into an eternity. Or your friend promises to return a borrowed book. Weeks morph into months, and every gentle reminder is met with a casual, oh, I'll drop it off later. The promised procrastinator keeps you in a perpetual loop of waiting, subtly controlling the pace and narrative. Their procrastination isn't mere forgetfulness, it's a tactic. Recognizing their delaying game is the first step to ensuring your time and trust aren't eternally hanging in the balance. Ready for more eye-opening content? Choose between 15 sinister techniques toxic people use to ruin your life, or unveiling the subtle signs of covert narcissism. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.